Achieving high-end studio quality often means spending hours, even days, perfecting your podcast. Not to mention the hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars that people spend on the post-production of their podcasts and videos. What if there was a way to streamline the process without compromising on quality? Well, the people over at Riverside seem to have found a solution. Riverside is an online podcast and video studio that allows you to record in studio quality without the studio, while also allowing you to transcribe and edit within seconds. Think of Riverside as the Swiss Army knife for content creators, where every tool is designed to cut down your production time. So let's dive deep into how this program could be the solution that you're looking for. I'm going to break down what this platform has to offer in 3 parts. First, the setup, then the studio, and then post-production. Alright, it's really easy to get started, guys. I do have a 15% off discount for you. You can use the coupon code below. Click on the link in the description. So once you've signed up for Riverside, you'll be brought to a studio's dashboard, which looks like this. And in order to get started, you click on New Studio up here. You can give your new studio name, then select the type of recording. I'm going to go for audio and video. And you can also select your transcription language. They have a whole list, hundreds of languages that you can choose from. You can either enter the studio or continue by setting up your studio, which gives you a few more options like scheduling and inviting participants. Something that's great about Riverside is that you can invite different roles into your podcast or interview. You get your host, producer, you have the guest, as well as an audience member, and they have different levels of functionality. But when we're ready, we click Create Show. This is the pre-screen before we get into the studio. This allows you to change your cameras, your microphones. At the moment, I have my DSLR camera, which is you're currently looking at, but I do have some other options. This is the computer camera, which looks like that. Then I also have a third camera which is set off to the side there, looking pretty good. Please mind my wonderful sheet in the background. So you can also use your phone as another camera, but I'm just going to stick with the main camera that we're looking at right now. It does come up pretty dark on the program. This is what it looks like coming through my camera raw. It comes through a little bit dark, and that's okay. What you do is you put your name in as the host and then select whether you're using headphones or not. Riverside suggests that you use headphones, but I'm going to just say that I'm not using headphones right now, otherwise I get some problems with my recording device. And this is our studio. Before we get started, I'm going to go up to the settings up here, and if you need to change anything at any point, you can do this within the settings. This also allows you to turn on echo cancellation, so if you don't have headphones, sometimes you can get a lot of echo. This will cancel that out. You can also choose to mirror your video, change your name. I'll just go through these settings over here. We have the general settings, which is the name of your studio, whether you want it to be private or public. Then we have our designs over here. Your recording, you can choose to either record only the audio, you can remove the background noise, choose your audio sample rate. Over here we have the quality of your video, optimize quality. This will record at 720, which is HD, but clips will still export in Ultra HD or Full HD. I'm just going to go to the advanced quality, and we have the ability to push it all the way up to 4K, which is incredible. So we get some nice, crisp, good looking video. And then you also have an option to connect to live stream, which I used to run a podcast and we would go live. So this would be a great option. It gives you all the different ways to do it. We can also set up your custom RTMP address in order to broadcast however you want. So those are the settings over there. Great thing about Riverside is that they have something called progressive uploads. Riverside records locally to your computer, to your guest's computer, and then it uploads it in the background while you're having your interview. So at the end of everything, it might look pretty bad in terms of the quality while you're having your interview, but in the background, it's recording in the highest quality as well as uploading it during your interview. So once you're finished, you don't have to wait very long. Everything is ready to go at the highest quality. So when you edit your video, it looks really, really good. Just know that the quality that you'll be seeing during your interview is not going to be the same as your output. Your output is going to look so much better. Something that I do want to highlight is their Teleprompter feature, which I think is absolutely great. So I've got a little script that I want to copy in here. I can mess around with the size of it. When I'm ready to go, I just hit the play button on my teleprompter and I can see this. Nobody else can. You just need to play with some of the timings and the scroll speed in order to make sure that you're always reading near the top of the screen to make it look like you're looking at the camera, but just an incredible, very, very useful function. A few more things at the bottom here. You get to select your mic, your camera, where you want the speakers to come out of. And now all you need to do when you've got your camera, your mic and everything set up is just hit record and you're ready to go. Except I don't have anyone to talk to. Wait a minute. I used to have a podcast with a friend of mine. Hey, bro.
Hey, dude.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining.
Dude. What a treat. What a treat to be back again, just to chat. It's been so long.
Did you have any troubles getting on?
No, it was so simple. And I know we've used other ones in the past, but this one was like the easiest one we've ever used.
So while me and Nick were able to get our podcast up and running again, I was able to check out a few features in the studio. One of them being that Riverside allows you to share your screen or one of your tabs running in your browser. This is useful if you have presentations or Google Slides or something that you want to put up in your interview. They also have a function where you can chat privately to anybody who you might be interviewing. This is really useful if you need to communicate something to someone and not have to do it over the video interview. Something else that was really useful was that you can add markers during your interview. Maybe during your interview you realize this is going to be a great clip for social media. You just mark that clip, so when you go into your editing software, it'll show you the markers that you made during your live interview. Riverside also allows you to add media clips over your interview, which could be things like sound or video. They have a small library, but you are able to add any media clips that you like. So let's get into the post-production. Once you have your podcast, what can you do on Riverside in order to edit it, make it look good, and get it out there? So this is where the magic really happens. Riverside has some amazing AI features which will simplify your process and speed everything up. So once I've recorded my podcast, I find the studio that I created and click on View Recordings. Once I'm in, I can find the actual recording, which was this one. Firstly, something that I find is very, very useful is that you can copy a shareable link. So if you have other people and other editors that you need to work on the podcast and you don't want to give them access to your Riverside account, you just share this link and they'll be able to automatically access all of these files without having to sign up. Something I think is really great if you are a Premiere Pro expert and you love to work in Premiere Pro, you can export your video and all of your files in layers, and you can choose the tracks that you want to export. It exports everything in an XML file, so very easy to get started in Premiere Pro. However, I want to show you what Riverside has to offer in terms of editing. So what we'll do is we'll click on their editor. This brings you to the editing dashboard. First thing that you see at the top here is that you can change the aspect ratio. In one click, I can change between a 1:1 aspect ratio, 16:9, and 9:16. I'm going to stick to 16:9. After that, you have your magic tools. An amazing magic tool is that you can click this button. It'll remove all the silences. In an instant, you can see at the bottom there, my timeline has now cut out all the blank spaces. If you play through the clip, it's basically going to skip out and jump from this purple spot to the next and jump from one to the other. And that happened instantly. Very cool function. Then you have the option to select your tracks. I could take Nick out if I like and only have myself. I can arrange these, pull myself to the top. I can also just use the audio of Nick if I want. You have many options over there. Here you can choose your layout. So you could have the two guests with gaps in between. You can put somebody front and center with your guest in a smaller window, or you could lay it out with the host taking up the whole screen. If we put a bit of a gap in between, we can now add a background. So we get a few options here in order to put some color in, but I'm happy just to stick with the black one. I'm actually like it without a gap. And then you have the option to add captions, but I want to talk about that separately, so I will get to that a little bit later in this video. And you also have the option to add a logo right at the end there and overlay it onto your clip. As you've probably seen on the left over here, we have the transcript, which was automatically created, and it does a phenomenal job at understanding the words that you say. I'm a South African, my friend is South African, and we have a bit of an accent, but it picked up 90%. I found a few mistakes, but they were neither here nor there. The AI did an incredible job at actually understanding what we were saying. And this is where the power of Riverside comes in. So Riverside uses something called text-based editing. And that means I can edit my video just by editing the text. And if I take out some of the transcript, it's going to remove the correlating video, and the point where that transcript matches up with the video, it's going to cut it out. So let's say I don't like the sentence that I made. I said, it makes no sense, right? And look at the bottom over there where my playhead is. As soon as I remove it, it cuts out that section of the video. You can highlight that section, remove it, and it'll literally take it out instantly. And I can always revert if I made a mistake. You also have the ability to search for certain words. So I know, for instance, we spoke about Eden Hazard. So I'll search Hazard, and what it's going to do, it's going to pull up all the instances where Hazard is mentioned. And that's very useful because maybe you remember during the podcast that, hey, we spoke about this certain thing. I can't remember exactly where it was. Type it in, you're able to find it and edit accordingly. And remember those markers I put into the video at the time of my recording, they pop up here as these little dots, which is another way in order to remember a certain point in the clip that you want to go back to and edit later. This is really going to help anyone who's editing a podcast, because I've edited a few podcasts before and sometimes they're not very fun because the client says, we need to take this out, that out. You need to remove all the ums. We've you've had that before. You could literally search for certain words and remove them instantly. You also have the option at the bottom here to split your clip wherever you want. And if I zoom in, I can now pull the edges to whatever size I want. So you do have the power to edit yourself and edit certain sections however you would like. And then you also have the option to add intros and outros. So some people have an intro for their podcast. At this point, you just click this plus button, find the video, add it in there, and you also have the same ability to do that right at the end too for an outro. All right, so I want to show you a few more things that Riverside can do, specifically with social media clips. Some people like to have little clips of their podcast and post that on social media. Riverside has something called magic clips. The AI has gone through my video and found parts that it feels would be really shareable and work, and it's automatically created little clips. Magic clips will be highlighted here with this little purple star. Basically, it has your video with captions automatically laid out, and you have the ability to change it, so you can again change your aspect ratio, change the color and the look and the feel of your captions over here. For anyone who doesn't have much time and they need to put stuff on social media, it's a pretty good feature that they've got. Before I show you how to export, you can upload external content onto Riverside and use their AI tools and their editing platform, which is a huge bonus. So I'm going to go to a different studio and view the recordings. Over here, I have the option to upload. So I can click on this upload button and find a video on my computer. So maybe I recorded straight from my camera and I didn't use Riverside in order to record the actual videos. I can still upload that footage, or maybe it's footage that you recorded years ago, and you can upload it to their platform and use all their functionality and all of the AI and create magic clips and social media clips and use all the text-based editing and all of the goodness and stuff that they have to offer. You can also generate a full episode down here, so it'll take your clip and it'll basically remove all the silences, it'll create captions, and it'll put everything together as a full episode. And that was just a couple of seconds and it's done. This is my podcast done and dusted, and it's ready to go. So now when you're ready to export, you just come up to this button over here, export, and this gives you all the options. So you can choose the quality that you want to export at depending on what you filmed in. I would highly recommend that you normalize the audio levels. This is going to make sure that if one speaker was, their microphone is too loud, that it's not going to overpower the other speaker, and more or less it's going to balance things out. You could also remove background noise, which is really great for if you have an air conditioner or a fan running in the background. With AI, it's going to remove that, as well as remove the watermark. You can only remove the watermark on a certain tier of account. Don't forget, I have a coupon code below, and you can click my link in order to get started and get a discount. And once you're done, you're able to export. And once you've exported, they will send you an email when you are ready, so you can go have a cup of tea. And once you've got that email, you'll be able to upload and publish to different platforms. You'll be able to upload and publish to Spotify, or just download it in order to upload it wherever you want to. So Riverside really makes things as simple as possible for video creators. Whether you're creating a podcast, a video interview, a live stream, a webinar, whether it's panel discussions or just meetings with clients, there is so much value inside of this platform. You're also able to get started for free. You don't need a credit card in order to get started. And they also have a mobile app which you can use if somebody doesn't have a computer and they're only able to interview via mobile. So after reviewing Riverside, I have to say that I'm actually blown away by the value that you get for your money. And from their socials, it also seems that they're putting out new features all the time, which means that they're looking to improve their product and make it as good as possible. For me personally, I would highly recommend Riverside to any video creators, anyone who has a podcast, anyone who's wanting to start out with a podcast, where you want high quality, studio quality videos without having to break the bank in order to get it. Guys, and if you do have any questions or comments, please let me know below in the comments. I honestly would love to hear you guys' thoughts and what you think, if you've tried the platform out or not. But that's it for me. If this did help, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.